Efren Divided by Ernesto Cisneros. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Efren awoke to a gentle tug on his shoulder. He didn't know when he had eventually fallen asleep, but by the way that his eyelids swayed heavily, he knew it hadn't been that long. "Maxie," he said, "you can go to the bathroom on your own. I need to sleep." "Mijo, despierta," Appa whispered. "Wake up." Efren forced his eyes open and sat up. His father was dressed, ready for work in a clean version of what he had worn the night before. "I'm leaving for work early. I asked Doña Shana if she might take you and your hermanitos to school today. Maybe keep an eye on you afterwards, only she can't. Has a Tupperware shipment to pick up in LA. "It's okay, Appa," Efren said, rubbing away at the asleep in his eyes. "I can get them dressed and feed them and take them to school myself." "Are you sure, mijo? What about Max? You know how difficult Max can be." "He's fine. I can always bribe him with food. Really, it's no problem." Appa chuckled. "All right, here." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a $20 bill. "I'm going to need you to go to the troquita and pick up some food for dinner. Just don't bribe him with soda or he'll never go to sleep." Efren took the money and slipped it into his underwear waistband. "Don't worry about us," he returned to check that the little ones were still asleep. "Just get Amma back." Appa nodded. "A friend at work knows a guy who works as a coyote, and he might be able to get across really soon. If I can wire the money in time." Do we have the money?" "Almost, but my same friend is lending me the rest of the money we need." Again, Appa smiled with his mouth closed tightly. Efren could see the worry on his face. "Now, mijo, get some more sleep. I left the alarm set for you." "It's okay. I don't think I'll need it." He was too nervous to sleep. By the time the alarm finally did go off, Efren was already in the kitchen trying to figure out what to feed Max and Mia. Amma had this thing about not having her kids eating the school breakfast. "Too much sugar and preservatives," she said. Efren stared into the refrigerator. What could he possibly do with one egg, a strip of ham, pickles, which only Appa liked, a packet of biscuits, and the 3 or 4 swigs of milk left? If Amma were here, she'd roll up her sleeves and wave her wooden spoon and make a milagro happen. The pressure was on. He opened the top cabinet and found a container of cinnamon and sugar. He turned to the bottle of oil and smiled. A bit later, Efren and Max and Mia stood along the kitchen table, forming the pre-made biscuit dough into the misshapen animal figures. "Okay, now stand back, you two. The oil's very, very hot. Last thing I want is Amma coming home to 2 pair of charred twins." Max and Mia got the hint and decided to wait behind the balcony curtains. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Efren plopped the first animal biscuit into the oil, causing a splash that crossed over half of the stovetop. "Is it working? Are we really having donut criddles?" asked Max, his eyes barely visible behind the curtain. Efren leaned in and watched the dough sizzle. "I'm not sure if it's supposed to cook this fast." He reached in with the spoon and tried flipping it over, but the doughy critter flopped right off the pan and onto the kitchen floor. Max and Mia both shrieked. Like a good big brother, Efren rushed in and scooped up the tiny beast. "Don't worry, I'll just rinse it off." Again, both the hermanitos stood back and watched. "See," Efren said, holding the soggy, half-cooked donut thingy. He returned it to the stovetop and flung the critter back into the oil. The pan erupted. Oil jumped everywhere, even onto the back of his hand. Efren yelped and ran his hand under the cold water. Max and Mia shrieked again, only much, much louder. A half an hour later, Efren found himself at the elementary school lunch tables, eating generic Cheerios with his brother and sister. "Hey guys," Efren said, soaking his burn in a milk of carton. "How about we don't mention any of this to Appa, yeah?"